Smiling faces, the family way. Margaret Lewin Quilting will make your day.
Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin, and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today I'm so excited because I am finally getting back to my mystery mixology. It has been sitting behind me in the basket, and I finally have a chance to get started on it again. So you can see here I've sewn one of my rows. One of the things to be careful about is the direction in which these are going. Because of the fact that they're not square, they're kind of off center, if you don't have them going in a specific direction or a pattern, it's going to really stick out. So I have chosen to keep all of mine going in the same direction. You'll find when playing with this design on your design wall, depending upon how you rotate these, you'll get a totally different look. So it's a neat quilt in that manner. So what I'm going to do today is show you what I've got stacked up and what I will be working on. And I am hoping that I'm going to get a good chunk of this put together. So I have in front of me all of my sashing pieces that are going to go in between the blocks. And you can see it's these pieces right here, just off camera almost. So it's these pieces right here. And then right next to it, I've got folded and stacked all of my rows. So here's my first row that I'm gonna pick up on. And what you will notice about it is I should have them, and I do, all stacked in the same direction to make it easier so I don't mess it up. So I'm going to sew my rows, and for my quilt I have, let's count them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I have 9 rows. Actually I have 10 rows, I have 9 rows. So I've got 9 rows, and I put 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And each row has 9 blocks in it. So it's a 9 by 9. The other thing that I have done, and you can see these right here, these are my sashing pieces that are going to go in between. Let me fold this and move this out of the way so I can show you what I mean. Here is my quilt. All right. And what's going to happen, I'll push these out of the way. What's going to happen is these blocks are going to line right up like this, going all the way across. It's going to look really scrappy, and I'm very excited about it. The other thing, this is the other thing that you want to keep watch on, is these blocks. When you sew them to the sashing strips, you want to sew them all in the same direction, because you could have one going this way and one going that way. Unless that's the way you want it, which if that's how you want it, that's fantastic, because it's your quilt. You can do anything you want to with it. So I am going to first put these back together. I'm going to first go over to my sewing machine, and I will be stitching this. My stitch length is right around 2. I am using my Bernina foot number 37, which is the 1/4 inch foot, and I'm just going to chain piece these together. And as I said, I've got 9 of them. Once I've chain pieced them together, I'm going to press towards my sashing strip. Once those are all done, then I'm going to go on and work on my sashing that is in between each row. I'll come back when I get it at some workable point so that you can see exactly what it looks like. I'll at least get a few rows put together, because I'm getting anxious for this one to be done. So I'll be back once I've gotten a few rows together. I have all 9 of my rows sewn together. So now what I need to do next is make my sashing strips. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to show you what I've done with my sashing strips at this point. What I've done is I've sewn a I think it's 3 or 3.5 inch square. What is it? It's a 3.5 inch square to the end of all of my 3.5 inch strips. So what I'm going to do next is just sew them together end to end so that I have 9 of these together to make a full row. So this will be what starts with it. Then I'll have 9 of these large pieces and that'll make up my entire row. To make this a little bit easier on myself, what I'm going to do is actually stack these together first so that I can put them all together and get them into rows. Then I will concentrate on sewing them together in a big long strip. So we're almost done with this one. I wanted to take a minute and show you how I've gone about stacking these. So I'm gonna set this one back a little bit out of the way. So what I've done is I have just stacked them one right after the other. So what I'm gonna do is chain piece them, just like I chain piece the rows. It just makes them go a lot faster. The only thing I wanna caution you on these is, and I know I think I said it before, make sure that when you put your quarter square triangles onto your sashing strips, that they're all attached the same way. What you don't want is one to be with the white attached here and then the next one with the color attached here, because you'll see it'll be out of place. So I'm gonna get these sewn together. Then once I've got these sewn together, then I can start putting all of my quilt together. So this is getting really exciting. All of my sashing strips are completely done and I'm thrilled to pieces. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this over to the ironing board. I'm going to press all of my sashing strips towards the background color, all right? And then I'm going to press all of the rows towards the color. And then that way what's gonna happen when I go to put these together, they're gonna nestle right up next to each other perfectly. So I will get really nice, well, hopefully I'll get really nice crisp seams. So now it's time for me to go over to the ironing board and then we get to start putting this all together, which will be really fun. All right, I'll be back then. In the meantime, I have oodles and oodles of beautiful fabric that's got all these gorgeous colors in it, and I'm thrilled to pieces to be working on this. Isn't it gorgeous? Ah, I'm so excited. See you in a little bit. Here is my wider row, and then here is my sashing. Okay, I know I kind of got a little mess here. Let me straighten it up just a little bit for you. This quilt is quite large. So here is what my quilt is going to look like, and I'm so excited. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna flip the sashing on top of this one. I'm gonna put my seams together as best I can. All right, and I'm gonna just pin. And I will pin right here. And that hopefully will get my seams to butt together tightly, because that's just really what I want to do. I want these seams to kind of just nestle right into each other. So I'll pin at all of my crossings where they all meet, and then I will sew it. And when I press it, I will probably press it towards the sashing, which is this smaller piece, unless when I go to press it, it just really needs to go the other way. More than likely, I'm gonna press it right towards the sashing. So here I go. I'll get this pinned, get it sewn, and then pressed, and then I'll show you what it looks like. This is row number 1 going together. So I'll see you in a little bit. Now you're all gonna know how excited I truthfully was about finishing this quilt, because I finished it and forgot to film the end of it. So please bear with me. I'm gonna go back and try to walk you through what it was that I did. So you can see it's been quilted and washed. It's ready to go on my bed, actually. because this one's going in our bedroom, which really excites me because I'm ready for a new quilt in there. So anyhow, what I did was I put my sashing rows together and then attached my sashing rows to my block rows, and just tried really hard to nestle, another thread, my seams together so that it would all line up very nicely. It worked out great. The quilt top really went together very, very well. And as I said, it's 9 by 9, so it's huge. I think it's like 95 square, but it's big. It definitely is big. I'm gonna hold up as much of it as I can for you. So here it all is. When I quilted it, you're gonna notice that it's very, very puffy. I did two things. I used Quilter's Dream wool batting for it and just quilted it with one of Nancy Hackey from Wastache Quilting's designs. The one that I used was Winter Flower is what it's called. And it's the winter flower design without the bird. She has two of them. One has a bird, one doesn't. I picked the one without the bird. And what we did was quilted it really open. It's not real tight, so you can see it's extremely soft and flexible. And it gives this, to me at least, this old quilt look that I just absolutely love. We did quilt it with white quilting thread, so it's not real prominent on the front, but I'm gonna turn it over and let you see the back of it. The backing fabric I used is what I call crosshatch. It's got little crosshatches all over it. It's a Moda fabric, so that's what I used for the backing. I'll try to get a close-up shot of it for you. So this is the finished Mixology Mystery. I'm gonna try to get it hung someplace so that I can show you a really good picture of it. But this is the quilt. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to go put it on my bed. And as I said, it is completely ready to go. So it is washed, dried, bound, and definitely ready for my bedroom for the summer. So I'll take a couple pictures of it for you and insert them here at the end. Thank you so much for joining me for the Mystery Mixology quilt. It is made with Moda's Layer Cake Mixology and another fabric, and then background fabric. So it's a quick, easy quilt, and I actually have, I think, enough little half square triangles left over to make a table runner for the kitchen. So I may end up doing that too, and if I do, I promise I'll show you. If you liked this video and would like more quilt-alongs, please do give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I do so enjoy reading your comments. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye, everybody.